Forces, he wrote the Pentagon manual on fighting insurgencies.
Let's take a look at what we are likely to hear tonight in the State of the Union address. Aides say President Bush will seek common ground with the Democrats who now control Congress. He will largely shy away from the divisiveness of Iraq and his new strategy that has stirred bipartisan opposition. Instead, he will call for cooperation on domestic issues. Among the challenges, health care and U.S. dependence on oil from abroad. The situation in Iraq, it has taken some ominous turns since President Bush's State of the Union address last January. Insurgents targeting American troops, the death toll still climbing, and criticism of the president on the rise. Time now for a fact check from CNN's Sean Callebs.
This is last year, before Mr. Bush proposed sending more U.S. troops to Iraq, the 2006 State of the Union, and a president flush with optimism.
The road of victory is the road that will take our troops home. As we make progress on the ground and Iraqi forces increasingly take the lead, we should be able to further decrease our troop levels.
A year ago, in the same address, the president recognized the personal loss suffered by Bud and Sarah Clay. Their son, Marine Sergeant Dan Clay, was killed fighting in Fallujah. Today, the Clays still grieve. But their support for Mr. Bush and his evolving policy in Iraq is unwavering.
Like all of us, he doesn't have a crystal ball. He has his hopes and things that he would like to do, but life is not like that. The realities of life are that, as you know, things change, and you make your best decision on the information you have, and you go with that.
His very intention ultimately is to get our boys home as soon as he possibly can, but he had a more important objective, and that is that that area would be able to be left with in a semblance of security and peace.
A year ago, the president told the nation that perhaps security and peace in Iraq were within reach.
We're on the offensive in Iraq with a clear plan for victory. First, we're helping Iraqis build an inclusive government so that old resentments will be eased and the insurgency will be marginalized.
Unfortunately, shortly after President Bush gave his 2006 State of the Union address, Iraq's problems got even worse, and an insurgency and a terrorist threat also became, in most eyes, a civil war.
Mr. Bush's harshest critics say his words on Iraq and his policies there will define his presidency.
I think the President Bush's legacy will be he led us into an unnecessary war. He led us in for the wrong reasons, and he didn't do it correctly.
The same is true of...
And Sean Callebs joining us. More information now. Sean, when I think about the speech for tonight, usually there is a particular demographic or someone that the president is speaking directly to. Who will that be tonight?
Well, you know, it's interesting, Heidi, because it really cuts across a very broad demographic this evening. If you talk about Iraq, what's going on there, he is speaking in large part to members of his own party in Congress. These are people who may be waffling right now, who may be hearing from their constituents that now is not the time to ramp up and send in more than 20,000 more troops. He will probably make the argument, we have a new plan, give us time, let's see how this goes. But he also has to convince the American public. He has seen his approval rating dip dramatically over the past several months. When it comes to issues like health care, taxes, he's talking to the American public as a whole. But he's also going to be talking to congressional Democrats as well when he picks up on the issue of immigration. So really, he's going to be touching a very broad sector this evening.
All right, CNN's Sean Callebs reporting from Washington. Thanks, Sean. And CNN